Imagine being trapped behind crude wooden walls. No food. No rescue. No way out. As winter closes in, people begin disappearing. The dead outnumber the living. And rumors spread of something so horrifying that historians would debate it for centuries. In the winter of 1609 to 1610, England's first permanent colony in North America came within days of total extinction. This is the story of Jamestown's starving time. Before we dive deeply, kindly subscribe to my page, follow, like, and share for more hidden history, untold stories, and fascinating historical mysteries. In 1607, 3 English ships sailed into what is now Virginia. Their mission was ambitious. Establish a permanent English settlement. Find wealth. Expand England's influence. Create a foothold in the New World. The settlers selected a site along the James River. They named it Jamestown after King James I. The location seemed promising. The river offered transportation. The area appeared defensible. The colony's leaders believed success was only a matter of time. They were wrong. Many of the settlers were not farmers. Some were gentlemen. Others were craftsmen. Many expected to discover gold rather than grow food. From the very beginning, survival became a challenge. The water was often contaminated. Disease spread rapidly. Mosquitoes carried illnesses. Food supplies dwindled. The settlers entered a land they barely understood. Yet they remained optimistic. For a while, one man emerged as a crucial leader: Captain John Smith. Smith enforced discipline. He famously insisted, "He that will not work shall not eat." Under his leadership, the colony stabilized. Trade relationships developed with the powerful Powhatan Confederacy. Food shortages eased temporarily. Jamestown survived. But the colony's fragile stability depended on factors beyond its control. In 1609, England launched a massive resupply mission. A fleet carrying hundreds of settlers and vital supplies sailed toward Virginia. Then disaster struck. The flagship, the Sea Venture, was caught in a hurricane. The ship wrecked in Bermuda. Important leaders and supplies never arrived when needed. At nearly the same time, John Smith left Jamestown after a serious injury. The colony lost its strongest leader. And winter was approaching. What happened next would become one of the darkest chapters in American history. Some historians describe it as the closest an English colony came to total annihilation. Within months, the settlement descended into chaos. By spring, nearly 80% of the population would be dead. But what exactly happened behind the walls of Jamestown? The answer remained controversial for centuries. The winter of 1609 to 1610 arrived. Relations with the Powhatan Confederacy deteriorated. Trade collapsed. The settlers found themselves trapped inside the fort. Leaving the walls became dangerous. Food vanished rapidly. Horses were eaten. Dogs disappeared. Cats became meals. Even rats became valuable sources of protein. Desperation intensified with every passing week. Historical accounts paint a grim picture. People searched desperately for anything edible. Leather was boiled and consumed. Belts were softened and eaten. Shoes became food. The fort transformed into a place of fear. Disease spread. Bodies accumulated. Hope evaporated. Every sunrise brought new deaths. Every sunset brought fresh uncertainty. For centuries, some accounts of the starving time seemed too horrifying to believe. Many wondered whether survivors exaggerated their experiences. Then archaeology provided new evidence. In 2013, researchers announced a discovery that stunned historians. Human remains found at Jamestown showed signs of post-mortem cuts consistent with survival cannibalism. The evidence supported what some historical accounts had claimed for centuries. The unimaginable had occurred. Not as murder, not as ritual, but as a desperate attempt to survive starvation. One discovery became particularly famous. Archaeologists uncovered the remains of a young English girl. Researchers nicknamed her Jane. Careful examination revealed marks suggesting attempts had been made to remove flesh after death. The discovery shocked the world. It also confirmed the extreme conditions inside Jamestown. The evidence transformed legend into documented history. Yet the story of Jamestown is often misunderstood. Many people assume the disaster resulted only from starvation. The reality was more complex. Poor leadership, environmental challenges, contaminated water, disease, dependence on supplies from England, conflict with indigenous peoples, all combined to create catastrophe. The starving time was not caused by a single factor. It was the result of multiple failures occurring simultaneously. The Powhatan Confederacy played a central role in the story. For years, relations fluctuated between cooperation and conflict. At times, trade helped save the colony. At other times, tensions escalated. During the starving time, Powhatan leaders restricted access to resources. From their perspective, the English posed an increasing threat. This conflict deepened the colony's crisis. Understanding Jamestown requires understanding both sides of the encounter. Here's the twist. Despite the horror, Jamestown did not fail. By every logical measure, it should have vanished. Most colonies facing such losses would have collapsed permanently. Yet help arrived at the last possible moment. In May 1610, survivors encountered new arrivals and supplies. The colony was given another chance. One of history's greatest colonial disasters somehow became a story of survival. The remaining settlers were prepared to abandon Jamestown. They boarded ships and began leaving. Then they encountered the arrival of Lord de la Warre and fresh reinforcements. The decision was made. Jamestown would continue. The colony stayed. History changed. Had those ships arrived only days later, English settlement in Virginia might have ended entirely. Historians continue debating several questions. Could better leadership have prevented the disaster? Did the Virginia Company misrepresent conditions to attract settlers? How much responsibility belongs to colonial planners? Could stronger cooperation with indigenous communities have changed the outcome? The answers remain subjects of ongoing research. Jamestown survived. Tobacco cultivation later transformed Virginia's economy. More settlers arrived. The colony expanded. But the memory of the starving time never disappeared. It became a warning about overconfidence, poor planning, and the harsh realities of colonization. The story also reminds us that survival often hangs by the thinnest thread. In the winter of 1609, Jamestown stood on the edge of extinction. Most of its people died. Its leaders failed. Its future seemed hopeless. Yet somehow, the colony endured. And that raises one final question. If rescue had arrived just 1 week later, would the English presence in Virginia have vanished forever? And if Jamestown had disappeared into history, how different would America look today? The answer remains one of the greatest what-if mysteries in the story of the New World. Please don't forget to subscribe to my page, follow, like, and share for more hidden history, untold stories, and fascinating historical mysteries.